arcade sucks!
Welcome back to Sonic Generations. We are reaching the end point of the game here, where we're going to be doing a lot of the bosses and stuff like that, and pretty much just beating the game, finishing it outright. So, yeah, I also have the Adventure Sonic skin on, because, you know, Sonic Adventure is goated and the best, but we're going to do the silver boss fight, which initially I don't really have any qualms about this boss fight. I think it's a fine rifle fight or anything like that, and you know, whatever, cool that they kind of involve silver in this, but I do feel like there's something that can be said, and that is the creation of this game that we are playing right now, which is Sonic X Shadow Generations, which I am playing that version of the game, not the other version, not the regular version of the game. I am playing the X Shadow Generations version, and this has gotten a lot of unnecessary silver glazers hopeful. This has gotten a lot of silver glazers very hopeful for a future potential Sonic X Silver Generations, which, let me just level with all y'all and be honest about that. That's never gonna happen. I'm just gonna say it, because Silver has not done anything or enough in this series at all to even warrant having his own game, let alone like little game. Like, what, he was playable in Rivals, he was playable in 06, and I think that's been about it, and he's been in other games and rarely even contributed in those other games, so it's not like he's done enough to even warrant that. So a lot of people are like, oh, Sonic X Silver, make his own story, give him his redemption. It's like, what redemption? What redemption? Like, you know, like, there is nothing you can redeem. They haven't used him since 2006, so what redemption, you know, are we talking about? I mean, if we're talking about Red Dead Redemption, that might be a different story. But, you know, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a daggum blue hedgehog that runs super fast and a white hedgehog with psychic powers that literally doesn't do anything in this series at all. I'm just gonna run into these. Yeah. Yeah, it's like he hasn't done anything really significant in this series that I would feel like warrants anything to give him a year of silver, or even just a Silver Generations or whatever. Like, what has he done? What levels could you do for a Sonic X Silver Generation? Look at him dead in the background. Rose out here like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But it's like, what could you realistically do for a Silver Generations, you know, to make that a possibility of doing anything? And more on that later as we fight the final boss of the game. I'm gonna go get these keys real quick. Yeah, and so that's, like I said, not to say that I do dislike Silver as a character. I also really heavily dislike Metal Sonic as a character now, and that's not, and I will say this, I know I'm notorious for every single video hating on Sonic CD fans. It has nothing to do with Sonic CD. It has more to do with fans and the overratedness that they give him, and just the absolute glaze that they daggum put on him is absolutely insane. They're like, oh yeah, he's the strongest Sonic character. No, he's not. He hasn't won a single time against Sonic. Maybe in the comics, but I wouldn't even call those wins, you know? Even when the dude was indestructible, he still couldn't beat Super Sonic. He still couldn't. So, you know, it's a little different. Compared to, like, the Egg Dragoon here, which is, like, freaking peak from daggum Sonic Unleashed. Daggum best game ever daggum made, you know? But either way, that's not to say, I do think, do I think Silver has potential? Yes. Do I think Sega could definitely do something cool and interesting with him? Yes. But do I think we'll see it? No, not at all. And I do think that Silver needs to, if we're going to get anything related to Silver, Sega needs to work on it now. Like, you know, they need to work on it now rather than later. They need to make sure that they can start giving him steps towards redemption rather than, oh my frick, I knew that was going to happen. I think they should give him steps towards redemption now. That way, if they ever do decide to do a silver game or anything like that, it'll actually be justified. You know, that's the way I see it, and it makes perfect sense why they wouldn't go for silver immediately after the Sonic 3 movie and go for Amy rather instead, because a lot of people wanted Amy for 3 anyway, but it would have made more sense marketing wise to go for Shadow immediately over Amy, and then doing Amy now that we don't have any female characters in the franchise yet. So now that we have Amy, aside from, you know, human female characters, but it's like, it's still really cool to, what the frick hit me there, because that was actually crazy, right? Like, but now that we actually have these characters that we can, you know, see, it makes more sense to do Amy, especially now that Amy is becoming a more liked character, even though I do think that, I hope that the movie variant of her will be really amazing. I think I hope she'll be something that like people will really enjoy and like, because as it stands right now, what they're kind of doing with Amy right now, I'm not the biggest fan of, honestly. I think she was more interesting as a, oh my frick, please. I think she was more interesting as a, what she was in like the early 2000s, which I know a lot of people really hate. Okay, first of all, I should have killed him by now. So how many hits does this dude take, right? Okay, what the frick is going on, right? I should have killed this dude by now. Why are we... That does also remind me though that a lot of what I'm saying, just keep off mind, like it is in just my head, because I do remember I still get comments on that daggum Sonic CD video, and there was one person who recently commented on it and was like, this is why you make a script when you make it. I'm like, bro, I'm playing a mod review video. What script? You want me to play a game and read a script at the same time? That's impossible to do. Like, the frick are you talking about, bro? Trying to insult me over a take I had on Sonic CD when you're out here being more retarded than I probably am about a daggum script, bro. A script when I'm playing a game, doing a mod review, just talking about some controversial stuff that eventually took off for no reason. It shouldn't have, but it did. Anyway, that's besides the point. Now that we have this you know, we can beat the game and this will be over, and then we'll probably go back to our regular I can't speak regular scheduled programming with Sonic 06. I know I've taken a break from that, but I wanted to do this because I felt like this was just way better, because I like boost gameplay anyway. And I wanted to do you know, I wanted to take a break from it. I didn't want to get upset about it, because I did try to record the Iblis fight, and then I died at the very end, and it pissed me off royally. And it was like my first death too. It just pissed me off royally. Plus, I just, like, when it comes to Sonic 06, I want to make sure y'all have quality content, and I want to make sure that y'all have like the best commentary ever that comes along with the gameplay and stuff like that. But I really, when I play Sonic 06, I just nothing comes to mind. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to do. So right now I'm just not playing it due to the lack of I don't know how to express what I want to talk about when it comes to playing the game and stuff. So right now I'm just really waiting until I play the game again and just see what comes to mind. Because with Sonic Generations, I think it's a little different, because one, I've played the game so long and so much that I kind of just already know what to talk about, and it's different in that aspect, where I think, you know, a lot of things that you do in this that you can do in this game, it's like you can talk over it and stuff like that. The game isn't exactly hard, you know, so that's the greatest part about it. That's the greatest part about this game, is that it's not exactly hard. You can really just grind it out and it'll be fine, you know. And that's why I enjoy Sonic Generations. But at the same time, I don't really think that it's gonna be there's things I can talk about, because this is a game that reflects on the past of all the other games. So when it comes to talking about a lot of the different things in Sonic, it's easier to talk about things like Sonic CD, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2, and all these other games, because these games are from the past, and this game reflects on the past of that. So it makes a lot more sense to be able to talk about these games in this way and in this retrospect, that oh yeah, this is what the series has done, this is what works, this is what doesn't, because I do think that the boost gameplay works despite what a lot of people probably say. I do think boost gameplay works. I do think that it is the best playstyle we've had of Sonic, and I do think the way that Sega has embraced it has been great, and they've really made, like, given it its own identity with physics and momentum gameplay. But I also think that what they did with Sonic Frontiers was really interesting as well. I know a lot of people have different opinions on Sonic Frontiers. I would like to see what they're gonna do with it, because here's the thing about Sonic Frontiers, and I think this is why it works really, really well talking about it. Sonic Frontiers embraces every single aspect of Sonic. It has the classic gameplay with the 2D areas in Chaos Island and in the cyberspace, which also in cyberspace, people don't know this, aside from doing the drop dash, you can also not only spin dash, but you can roll in cyberspace. So it embraces the classic Sonic gameplay. It has the adventure style gameplay with the open zone area and just the way that kind of the boost and spin dash works, and then you have the boost gameplay from the Sonic games and in the stages from the modern Sonic games. So it's like there's a lot of different aspects that the Sonic Frontiers embraces, and then it introduces things that either they had in the past and brought it back, like combat and Sonic Unleashed. They brought it back with Sonic Unleashed with combat and Sonic Frontiers. It's not as in-depth, and I hope that we'll get more for Sonic Frontiers with more in-depth content, but for the most part, I do like the combat in that game, and it's fun, and you can make it look fun if you know how to use it. There's a lot of cool things that definitely worked in Sonic Frontiers, and Sonic Frontiers is not a perfect game, but it definitely is one of my favorite Sonic games of all time. For sure, it's definitely one of my favorites. It's not Sonic Unleashed perfect, it's not Sonic Mania or Sonic 3 and Knuckles perfect, but it's up there, you know? It has its problems that definitely needed to be ironed out, and hopefully we'll get that with this next game. And I am excited for the next game, because you can definitely tell Sega is putting an effort. If you look at Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is that prime example of effort. As y'all know, I got to play the beta, and as y'all know, I've been a prime advocate for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds because I love the game. I've tried the game in the beta, and the beta was really, really solid, and now we're getting a lot of final game content, and this is post a lot of the trailers and all this stuff, and we just got the gadgets and customization trailer as of the recording of this video, not even like a few days ago, like maybe like 2-3 days ago. So it's actually really cool that we got that. And you can just tell, even by just down to the look of this game and all the content that they're putting in this game with all the characters, even the Sega IPs and everything. Not only are they just trying to make this seem like it's the penultimate, just final racing game, but they're actually putting a lot of effort in. They're expressive, it's flashy, it's nice, it's fun, and it looks fun, and it is fun. I've played the game, it is fun, and I was obsessed with it for the 3 days I got to play with it, and that's why I've been like, you can just tell by looking at this game is worth the $70 price tag, and a lot of people really are complaining about that $70 price tag, which understandable. At least it's not 80, but I will be here to sell you right now, it is worth the $70 price tag. And this is why I think that, because like I said, I've played the game, I know the content of the game, and even with just the newer stuff that they're announcing, and even just with Extreme Gear, this game is worth it. This game is 100% worth it. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is going to be worth it, and at least it's not $80. I do think when it comes down to like Mario Kart, I don't think Mario Kart is worth an $80 price tag, but I think CrossWorlds reeks of it. Now here's the way I look at it. Could CrossWorlds be 60? 100%. But there's no one to blame but Nintendo for this. And you can call me a Nintendo hater in the comments all you want, but that is the truth. The truth of the matter is Nintendo is to blame for this, and the fact that a lot of people bought Mario Kart World and the Switch 2, effectively making them get away with it because nobody was going to listen to what they had to say anyway, effectively making them get away with it, as well as making it to where Sonic every other game would follow suit. And a lot of people were talking about, oh, tariffs and all this. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not a political person generally. I don't really care. I mean, I am a common sense believer, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm so used to doing the freaking brain rotted, like, gotta dodge everything. Yeah, I'm so used to daggum doing this perfect that I'm trying to do it perfect again, but I don't need to. Yeah, okay, I don't need to do this perfect anymore. We're good. But in terms of just everything, like, there's a lot of different factors, but it's like Xbox, the days following, like, I think it was like a few weeks after the Switch 2's release, we literally got Xbox price hikes on everything, which is a bad move that Xbox did, because Xbox should not have price hiked everything. They should not have price hiked everything. That was the stupidest thing that they could have done, possibly, because of this simple fact and this fact alone. That Xbox is in the crapper right now, bro. They are not doing well at all. They could be doing good, but they aren't. And that's the thing. They're in the crapper right now, and then they went ahead and did that. But it's the fact that Nintendo got away with it that Sega also was going to follow suit. Every other game company is following suit with what happened because of Nintendo. And it makes sense that CrossWorlds was going to be $70, although I wish it would have been $60. But expecting them to be different and make them make the game $60, expecting them to be different, that's a very naive line of thinking, I think, in my opinion. I think that's a very naive line of thinking. If you thought, Sega's going to be different, they care. Let me just be honest here. As much as I've glazed Sega a little bit, and glaze CrossWorlds and talk about these companies in a positive light, that's just because I want to be positive about these things in general, so that's the way I look at it. But here's the thing I will say. These companies do not care about you. Nintendo does not care about you. Sega does not care about you. Bandai Namco does not care about you. Koei Tecmo does not care about you. None of these other gaming companies, they do not care about. They care about your money. That's what they want. Just following this, I should have had a video go up about it. Probably as of the recording of this video, in 15 minutes, there's a video going up about the Atelier Ryza trilogy getting a DX release. And it's basically getting like a Persona 5 treatment. And it's like, that is going to, despite knowing nothing, unless they give us an upgrade, a free upgrade, they will most likely charge you more money for this and make the old version of the game irrelevant, which it is sad, but that's just how game companies operate. That's what they do. That's how they get their money out of you. And Sega is the same way. I do like that there are companies that are more in touch with their base, like Sega, but it's still not. Oh my gosh, this is gonna take forever, bro. But there are still companies, and it doesn't matter how many they post about being in touch with the base and all this other stuff. That doesn't matter, because whatever they do, it doesn't matter. That doesn't show that they care about you, or show that they want you to be like, oh, this almighty like game developer or anything like. No, that's not what they want. That's not what they care about. They just want your money. And that's the whole. Did it just do Sonic Adventure 2's beginning of Live and Learn and then follow it with Sonic 4? That's so weird. I've never noticed that. That was so weird. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, these companies just do not care about you. They never will. That's just the bottom line. They want your money. And, that's why CrossWorlds is $70. Do I like it? No. Do I want it to be that way? Not at all. But at this point in juncture, compared to when Sega first tried it, when Nintendo first tried it, I thought there was a way that you could protest. And here's the thing. I have kept my word. Y'all know I'm a man of my word. I always do that. I'm a man of my word. I have kept my word. I have still not bought a Nintendo Switch 2. I still have not bought Mario Kart World. I'm never going to do that. I never even had interest in it to begin with, but I still haven't done it. Yes, I did buy the premium version of CrossWorlds because, like I said, I will be. I told people, despite the price hikes, I'm going to buy CrossWorlds. I was straight out the gate honest about it. That's why I'm not going to make complaints about it. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to complain about it because here's the way I see it. The CrossWorlds like whole thing is, yes, we knew this was going to happen. It's Nintendo's fault. That's the only way to look at it. There's no use in complaining about it. This is how games are going to be from now on. There's no point in complaining about it. This was going to inevitably happen, and I don't see a point in trying to protest it any longer because companies are just going to follow Nintendo's footsteps. That's the way I see it, and that's the way it's always going to be, you know? And it's unfortunate, but it's really, really just the way things are. And, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. I don't really think it's going to matter. I'm still going to be playing CrossWorlds day one, y'all know. But yeah, that's it for Sonic Generations. Y'all kind of already know how I feel about this game. I've talked about it, and I think Sonic X Shadow Generations original playthrough, and I mentioned some at the beginning. This game, great. An amazing game. Celebrates everything that makes Sonic great from the first game to all the way to now. With Sonic Frontiers, this game just does everything right. It plays it pretty incredibly safe. It's pretty easy, but I think they made it that way for kids to be able to get into it as well, and for, you know, everybody to get into it. This game is just, it's great all around. It's got everything that you could want in a Sonic game. That's all that really matters, you know. And, you know, it's fun. It has the boost gameplay, which works. It has the classic gameplay, which worked back in the day. It makes sense why they would have done this instead of making a Dreamcast Sonic. That just would not have worked, I don't think. But either way, it still makes perfect sense. This game is great. And that's all you really need to know at the end of the day. And yeah, I guess I'll just let the rest of these credits play out because it's been a while since I've done that. And I'll see you guys in the next playthrough.